Hello everyone. How you doing today? I am Uzi and I'm hoping maybe this will help. I want to talk to you guys today about voting with your dollar. What you buy creates demand, and in this capitalistic society that we live in, supply and demand is God. If we need more of something, they will make more of it at no expense. Environmental expense, personal expense, poor people's expense. If they need more space to make something so that we can buy it, they will. And a lot of us are disconnected to where a lot of this stuff comes from. The reason that I thought of this today was I have always had a thing against palm oil because of a Vice I saw a long time ago. I don't know if you ever watched that show or not. It could make you depressed about the world. It could make you feel. It'll make you feel. That's what I promise. It's some real hard truths to swallow sometimes. And palm oil is in everything: cosmetics, food. I'm blanking on other stuff, but it's in really a lot of things. And they're illegally burning tons of very important rainforest in Southeast Asia to produce enough for the planetary demand. So that's where, right now these governments are corrupt, these people are corrupt, money is everything, and the culture hasn't shifted to where these people have been villainized or where they can just see the error of their ways. This is the way of the world, and this is what successful people believe, is that they're just winning. They're winning the game, and that is the game right now. They are winning the game as it's set up amongst their peers, and that's how you become elite and the way humans work with social hierarchy. Anyways, I digress. The point is a lot of this food that we eat, they wouldn't make it if nobody was buying it. And that's where our power comes in, the power of our dollar. And we're seeing it happen everywhere. There's grocery stores that are dedicated to more wellness, more local, like Farm Boy, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones. And even Sobeys has a huge conscious food section now, and it's just a very rapidly growing industry. Everybody has an organic section. When I first started my journey of eating better food, I wanted to eat eggs from Happy Chickens before I became vegan, and they didn't have that even at Farm Boy at first. I had to go to a health food store to get organic eggs. And then, before too long, they had it in Farm Boy. There was a demand there for organic eggs. And I saw the power of voting for a dollar. Shout out to Rena Mallon. She's the one that taught me. Not taught me, but yeah, she put that voting with your dollar thing in my head a long time ago, making conscious decisions. And her and her husband are doing wonderful things as far as conscious change going. So shout out to them. I wish that I could remember is it Conscious Campers? I don't know. I'll put it in the note when I find out, or I'll mention them in another video. Anyways, you vote with your dollar. I experienced it with the chicken eggs. I've experienced it with other things. You see that as the health, people are paying more attention to what's in their food and nutrition. It's becoming a bigger thing. All these places are responding, and it's really important that we read labels and we don't buy things with even if we really want it, with the stuff that's in it is against what we believe. Even corn is another thing, like corn products, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, corn starch, and at the middle of our grocery stores are dedicated to that. Chips, when everything has like corn in it. In the Midwestern United States, it's going to become a desert. The only reason it's not is because they just keep pumping enormous amounts of water on it and chemicals to keep being able to grow corn there, and they just keep growing corn over and over. It's supposed to be a desert. They've ruined the topsoil. At least from the movies and the things that I've read. I could be totally wrong, but I'm not a scientist and I've never went and done the geological work myself, but that's a crazy thing. And the fact that they're burning down millions and billions of acres of rainforest to just grow palm oil, and they're destroying all that habitat. They're destroying all those natural trees. Another bad thing about this palm oil and the destroying of the rainforest is antibiotics antibiotic resistant bacteria are growing at an alarming rate. They're mutating at an alarming rate. And these dense rainforests are the places where they've discovered these plants that have the stuff that can defeat them. So not only are we doing ourselves by cutting down our oxygen supply, burning those trees to put that much more carbon in the atmosphere, and destroying animal habitats, but we're destroying our medical discovery supply. And all for what? Palm oil, so that our makeup sticks a little bit better, or our food tastes a little bit better. And there's probably an alternative. One day I hope to see a government that supports creative ideas, says, hey, we need palm oil, there's a demand for this, and we'd radically have to change all of our food if we didn't use it, but maybe there's another oil out there that's more sustainable. Maybe we can find a way to meet the demand with sustainable palm oil. There's all sorts of people out there that are passionate about this stuff, that know about that stuff, and if they could just be heard, then it would be different. But right now I feel like a lot of people feel powerless, so they just kind of give up, or they just unconsciously buy, or they don't even know. The point is, you can vote with your dollar. If you don't buy stuff, if you tell people about voting with their dollar, they're going to be more apt to do that, and it changes stuff, and it changes stuff very quick. So please, read labels, be conscious of where stuff's made, how it's made. Even iPhones, they had to install nets on the Apple factories so people quit committing suicide off the top of them. A lot of our clothes, plastics, cheap throwaway materials and stuff, it's not technically slave labor, but it is essentially slave labor. And that's not the case everywhere, probably. Different places, different situations and whatnot, but the more conscious we can be of where everything that we own comes from, where everything that we own is made, and what those people are going through to make this, the more we can make better decisions. And a lot of people say, I don't have enough money, I have to buy the cheaper stuff. And I believe that is by design. I believe that they give us just enough money that's all we can afford. And it also keeps us involved with our own problems, so that we can't put effort and work into other problems. I think that is how they've modern day enslaved us. We feel free, but we're not actually free because we can't afford it. And one thing I would like to say to people that I think is super important is that if you want to eat healthy, but you can't afford it, in the summer, you gotta grow a garden. I was just talking to a friend last night, and his neighbor has a 1.5 meter patch of asparagus. It's 15 years old. It takes asparagus quite a few years to get going, so you're not going to be able to have this much asparagus right away, but it produces enough for a family of 4 to eat asparagus every day for an entire summer. Every day there's enough asparagus there for a family of 4 probably to eat it. Kale grows like wildfire, and it grows all the way into November, even here in southern Ontario. Vegetables can produce a lot of food. You can save so much money with very little vegetable work. I hope to start some gardening initiatives, vegetable initiatives in future videos, or teach people how to do it, or I have some cool ideas. Anyways, that's for a different day, but if you're someone who says, I got a family to feed, I only got so much money, in the winter in Canada it's a little bit harder, but in places where you can grow your own food, man, you can save a lot of money. You want to be able to go on vacation? Grow a garden, because you're feeding yourself for free and now you don't gotta pay that expense. So anyways, vote with your dollar on everything as much as you possibly can, please. And be aware that you do have power. Every choice you make affects everything. Accept yourself when you're not doing your best, and obviously, we're all human, we're gonna make selfish choices sometimes and whatnot, but every little change you make in the right direction, every time you vote with your dollar, feel really freaking good about that, because it's super important. And it's just showing love for the planet. The planet has provided us with every single thing we have. It's showing love for ourselves, because it's suicide to burn down these rainforests. One fully mature tree gives enough oxygen for about 2 people for a year, So cutting down 13 billions of acres in like 5 years or 10 years or however long it's been is absolutely insane. We're cutting down so many. It's our life supply. It's literally, we're committing suicide to have tasty food or to have nice something or other. Anyways, I hope that wasn't too ranty. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me, and later days, my friends. I love you so much. Good night.